Hey everyone, it's Darren Benson with Performance Motorcoaches, coming to you from a really steamy northern Indiana. It's 90 degrees. 90 degrees doesn't seem that hot in Texas. It seems a little spicy up here. So we're in the warehouse, not a lot of wind, doing our Explorer video. So we have a brand new 2026, but this is not about a 2026. This is about a pre-owned 2025 Explorer. This coach, less than 30 days old. This customer wanted to kind of change it up a little bit. He was a little aggravated with the dealership he was dealing with. From a few things I've seen on the coach, I can see a little bit of frustration and aggravation. They're all very minor things, things that I can fix myself, things that I caught within 5 minutes, but I think for the most part he wanted something a little bit smaller. I went to this customer's home, picked it up. So this is a 2025 Renegade Explorer. This is a 40 ERB, so it's a bath and a half. Lots of great features on it. Basically, it's a brand new coach. We will be using it next week, so it's going to be a little bit less new than it was previously. Never been stayed in there as I can tell, never been showered in. Coach is sitting around about 1,600 miles, so out to the East Coast back is probably a good, well over 1,000 miles, so kind of keep that in mind. I'm super OCD, so the coach will be better than new whenever we get it delivered. We'll kind of go through, talk about certain things. First thing we did, of course, I got it here to the dealership, to my warehouse here in northern Indiana. Got it all cleaned up, got the wheels polished. Little stuff like that drives me nuts. So beautiful coach. The customer did a lot of things previously. He had the X-Guard, did the ceramic coating on the exterior, so lots of cool features to it. And like I said, it's going to be a great buy for somebody looking for a slightly pre-owned Explorer. Definitely save some money off buying a brand new one. And like I said, lots of additions that are going to add some great value to the coach. So the chassis on this is a 116, so technically you could option they will all be the 116, they'll all be the 525 horse Detroit diesel. The difference being this is an Allison, that's a Detroit transmission. So 6-speed versus 12-speed, just totally different. This is an automated manual transmission in the DT. This is a true automatic in this Allison 6-speed, so they just drive a little bit different. In the hills, I prefer a DT. It's a light enough rig. I think it's 33,000 pounds. So it's not like it's, 50,000 pound rig. So it's going to have plenty of power to propel this thing over any kind of mountain range. So it's going to do a good job having that large of a motor, even with this Allison 6-speed transmission. So hemisphere paint scheme, which they didn't change that from 25 to 26. The inside is more of like kind of a tan tone, but it actually goes gray and tan tone to itself. So the decor on that is Everest, like Mount Everest. So we'll kind of get in that. In fact, we'll try to do this as fast as possible because it's hot. Shelly's sweating, upper lip gets a little glistening, and she gets angry, and she's hungry. We'll go as fast as we possibly can. Like I said, 40 ERB, beautiful coach inside and out. Does have the option for the line back compartments, does have the option for the MCD privacy shades around the cab area. It's a little bit different. Does have the Genturi as well. Aquahot 450 will be standard. Have a spare gallon of Aquahot fluid down there. Looks like they might use a little bit of fluid, so we generally have to top them off. We don't have to top them off. Sometimes we'll have to top them off. Outdoor TV is standard, 43-inch smart TV. We do have a USB inside that compartment. We can always add a 110 after the fact, so keep that in mind. It will come out and move around. So if you get some kind of angle, anything like that. Do I look hot? I mean, not like hot, but like warm. It seems warm. So pop lock switches, this will control your entry door and all your storage compartments. Does have, this was an option from Renegade doing the outdoor fridge freezer. We'll have it full of water on our little excursion over to Minnesota. Central vac is standard. So we go through and adjust every one of these little doors. I mean, Renegade does a phenomenal job in factory. It's done, nothing to take away from the factory. They do a great job, but there's things that move and shift that once it goes to the dealership, they need to go through. So, this is kind of a twofold, one to be able to show, and then two, kind of talk about what's different at Performance Motorcoaches. We're picky, and we've been around these coaches. We're around these coaches every single day of the week, so we know what to look for, small little things. So I'll kind of point them out, definitely not to kind of, to beat up this coach, but I mean, there are things that should have been taken care of. The entry door, you got to slam the hell out of it. I'll get all that stuff is minor adjustment, very easy thing. Always encourage our customers to come out and stay with us at least a night And if we didn't catch it, we want you to tell us. And we want to gladly go fix it immediately. Some of that stuff will, you know, it might need some adjustment 2 or 3 times, so kind of keep that in mind. So small things like the wheels were hammered. So our wheels, boop, real nice. So out back here, there's really no options or amenities, but nice clean rig. It does have a 20,000 pound hitch. It does have a trailer cam plug right there. Don't trip on this on the way over. I do that so that I won't have any spiders crawling up. Keep it off the ground. And I do that not through the hole, so that way if I'm in a hurry, I'm not an idiot and drive off. I'm trying to make it dummy proof. So the 110 over there on the right does have, I think it's a 36-foot shore cord, manual, outbound, automatic retract with the push of a button. 8K generator is standard. So this one has a little stinky slinky over there, so it's a little bit different setup. It's not black, which is fine. So 8K, we're sitting at 21 hours. I think I put 4 hours on the generator because I got it and the charge parameters were not set up correctly. So simple thing we changed. We also noticed the battery isolator wasn't functioning properly, so got that changed out. I changed that out myself, so I did run the generator a little bit to be able to charge the batteries and also check all the charge configurations. Something we always do, something that dealerships need to be well versed on, something that most dealerships are not well versed on, so keep that in mind. Wet bay here, we do have a hydronic register back in there. It does have the option for the macerator pump there on the left, and then the hose reel is standard on this product. Of course, sea level sensors are standard, and then the whole house water filtration system is standard as well. 75 gray, 75 black, nothing to look at. There are some 12-volt heat pads on the bottom of those tanks. So when you get here, they moved the servo outbound. Of course, you know that basically to connect this to the thing to the internet, you basically pull that little cover off there on the right-hand side, and then you connect that to Wi-Fi. So that's how we're able to change some of the charge configurations. Done all remotely. Like I said, the BIM was not functioning properly, so we got that changed out. Basically, running the generator, running the air conditioner driving down the road was able to decharge the batteries. You should be able to drive up and down the road without having any kind of significant battery loss while you're driving. So keep that in mind. So one thing that's a little bit, so this is me. So of course I try to not put my feet on anything. So the reason why I turned it around, Renegade does a great job at covering all of this stuff with plastic. The plastic comes right off the carpet. However, the plastic portion of this, the sticky sticks to it. So we've got one of our detailers at the shop. He always gets on down his hands and knees and puts a little bit of adhesive remover and gets all the sticky off that. My foot stuck to it. It's small little things, but I mean, if you're a weirdo like me, it's a big deal. So keep that in mind, but little stuff like that just drives me nuts. So minor little things, definitely. We try to exceed expectations with me being a little on the OCD side and trying to deliver what I would expect. I think we generally far exceed most people's expectations. So heated seats are standard, so your heat feature is right here. They are turning pedestals. Like I said, you still have the curtain that goes in place, but there's other little pieces, parts will go there. It'd be great for our dogs because we're going to do some health appointments, and we want to make sure they isolate those guys from the outside world. So that's probably the biggest feature to those MCDs. Blackout shades. They can't stick their head underneath there and bark at anything. So a nice X guard here. So this does have an Excite 360 cam set up, but it's not all dialed in. So we got to figure out what's going on. There again, not a problem. I noticed a camera to be able to put on the rear. You have some openness on that rear cap, so that's something that I'll challenge Josh once this coach gets back home. Once we are through with it, try to get that 360 cam system all dialed in. It's not an option for the Explorer. I'm kind of surprised to see it, so I just need to get into it a little bit more, get a better grasp of it. But I'm pretty certain we can get her dialed in, but there's no back cam. Until the back cam goes on, it won't be a full 360 cam setup. Nice projector headlights, LED projector headlights. Get angry with the door. So I'm going to jump in. Always like to kind of show what it looks like. So I'm gonna go here, and then we'll go around, and then we'll do like the hokey pokey. So still a very usable coach with the slides in. I can get to here, I can get to the dinette. A lot of things that I can do without having to run the slides. You know, if you pull over somewhere like in a roadside park, you don't have to worry about some trucker knocking your slides off. You can still pretty darn usable. I can watch TV, get to my half bath. I can get to all my cool fresh water out of here. So nice setup. So let's flip flop around. Sit half bath here. Go ahead and roll back there, baby. Shut the door. I'm gonna go ahead and kick the front air conditioner on, turn it on low there. So go ahead and roll the slide outs out. Hydraulic slide, the big slide over here is hydraulic. So it comes out pretty darn fast. This is a Cape Cod stain. I don't even recall the name of this tile because I don't think I've ever done it in a coach, oddly enough. But this is the Everest decor, which is, like I said, I would say more tan tone, but I wouldn't say all in all this is a tan tone coach. What would you say, Shawnee? I mean, the wood is, but I mean the backsplash hidden. The floor has some grays and some gray and some tan tones to it. So Villa furniture, they actually went from Villa to the Lambrite for 2026. So just variations, for, kind of matter of opinion. They changed the trim in 25 as well. So it's basically, it's gonna, there's not gonna be much that you would really be lacking as far as trim, as far as option amenities. They did do the soft touch walls in 25. It just made sense to do such a high dollar coach. This does have the option for the dishwasher. So check out this, kids. So if you hold this button, it will lock out the keypad, and hold a little bit longer, it locks it, keep it from open. Makes sense, perfect. So nice setup right here. Ton of room in all the pantry, all the hominy. Not a problem to store whatever you need in this pantry. So a ton of room. Sink covers here. It does have the induction cooktop that is flushed in there. Only an option to do flushed. We could probably do a surface mount if you really had to have one in a custom application via order thing. So they went with a fireplace. I wasn't a big fan of the fireplace. It kind of reminded me of a travel trailer, but that's just one guy's opinion. But if you want to add a fireplace, we can definitely do it. And we generally will do it on a hinge set to be able to retain that storage back behind. Or you do have storage back behind the nice 50-inch Samsung TV there. So very open environment, nice setup. We do have a step cover that will start in standard in 25. Convertible booth dinette, the two cushions are below there. So a ton of room, heated tile floors, lots of storage. Does have Starlink. I'll show the Starlink. Show Starlink's on the left. Starlink is standard, and that's the Spruce router. So come back here to the half bath. I'm gonna open this. Nice setup right here to be able to put all your coats, dog leashes, things like that. We can always add additional coat hooks right there, so not a problem. But nice setup here and there. I started this. If you catch yourself going down, gonna tumble, you don't have to reach inside. This kind of goes in your doorway. Safety first. Nice setup here. I noticed this one is loose. We'll get this taken care of. Minor little things, but things you should be able to not have to worry about. So we go through and pull on things just to see if things are, needs a little bit of love on it. But pretty good room for this little half bath in here. I messed up. I didn't run the slide out. So no real difference in the way of floor plan. It really hasn't been any changes. They do have an option for a bunkhouse Explorer for the 2026 year model. I think I've been in one of those. It's pretty similar type setup, other than basically the bath is right here. This gets pushed back a little bit, so this, you get a full bath here, and then you get the combination bunk bed and closet slide out because it gets pushed back a little bit. So decent amount of storage here. Of course, you have a big cabinet right here in your rear bath that gives you a lot more storage as well. We have 150 gallons of water on board below the bed. Basically, all the trucks will have the water below the bed, so 275 gallon tanks. We do a 66 by 75 inch long mattress. If you want a longer mattress, we do a flip over mattress. You know, just be able to accommodate some taller people, but that's the only kind of downfall to the Explorers that doesn't have an 80-inch mattress. I wish we could kind of redesign all this to accommodate that, but something to easily be done, just doing a folding mattress there after the fact. So nice setup right there as far as your 110 and USB and USB-Cs, able to charge your phone, AirPods, stuff like that. You do have a master control above the head to be able to run your lights and such. So no real deviation on that from, I guess, 2002 all the way up, or 2022 and up. Stacked washer dryer here. Full bath here in the very back. We got some storage here. So that's where you put your big suits right there. The shower is the same size on the 38 versus the 40, so there's no deviation there. They changed up the shower a little bit for the 2026 model. This is pretty handy, like if you're trying to just direct water, trying to conserve water, wash your feet, kids, dogs, something like that. So they actually went away from this in the 2026. So I think a lot of people still like this handheld option. We built a lot of classics with the handheld option, and people kind of prefer that just to be able to conserve a lot of water if you're not connected. They changed up the shower latch for the 2026, got rid of this. I'm glad to see this go. We did a proto of this in a metal. I need to take one of these back to our we got a guy that does all kinds of unique specialty work. We need to take one and have him build it out of aluminum just for some of those. But said no real options or no real deviations from 25 to 26, but incredibly clean coach. We'll get all the minor little things, minor little details kind of ironed out on this coach, but it's exceptionally clean. To be a great buy for somebody. Said we'll probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think by the time that we use it, come back here and then get back to Texas, we'll probably be sitting a little over 3,000 miles. The warranty start date on this was, I think, very end of May, so you got plenty of chassis warranty. There's no real Renegade warranty to be had, but there's certain components we can probably work with Renegade on a little bit like that, so kind of keep that in mind. But I always appreciate you guys watching these videos. I'll come back in the living room, see all the room for activity. This is our third Explorer video, so I slowed down a little bit, but gonna be a great buy for somebody. We'll get all the kinks worked out for the new owner. Check it out online. It's pmcrv.com. Always appreciate you guys watching these videos. Want to give a shout out to my best, Sean Lee. Anybody notice the wedding ring? We got married a little over 30 days ago, about 40 days ago here in Elkhart, Indiana. The lady back behind the camera now has my same last name. So appreciate it. Always appreciate everything you guys do for us. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.